The descent. The alien ocean stretched endlessly beneath Dane's diving vessel, its waters a deep emerald green that seemed to pulse with its own inner light. He had come to this remote world on the galaxy's edge following rumors of ancient treasures hidden beneath the waves, treasures that could make him rich beyond imagination. Just another dive, he muttered to himself, checking his equipment one final time. The atmospheric readings were stable, the water composition safe for his modified breathing apparatus. Everything looked normal, but something about this place felt different. The silence was too complete, too heavy. As his vessel descended through the alien depths, bioluminescent creatures drifted past like living stars. Schools of translucent fish moved in perfect formation, their bodies catching and reflecting the strange light that seemed to emanate from the ocean floor itself. Dane had explored dozens of worlds, but nothing quite like this. At 3,000 meters, his sonar picked up something massive. The readings were unlike anything in his database, too geometric to be natural, too ancient to be recent. As he drew closer, the water began to clear, revealing structures that took his breath away. A vast temple complex sprawled across the ocean floor, its architecture unlike anything he'd ever seen. Towering spires twisted upward like frozen whirlpools, their surfaces covered in symbols that seemed to shift and change when he wasn't looking directly at them. The entire structure glowed with a soft golden light, as if it were alive. Dane's hands trembled slightly as he maneuvered his vessel toward what appeared to be an entrance. This wasn't just another ruin, this was something significant, something that belonged in the archives of the galactic museums. The symbols on the walls seemed to call to him, promising answers to questions he hadn't even thought to ask. As he passed through the temple's outer chambers, the water around him began to change. It felt thicker, more responsive, as if it were aware of his presence. The golden light grew brighter, and somewhere in the distance, he could swear he heard something that sounded almost like breathing. Deep within the temple's heart, something stirred. Something that had been waiting for a very long time. The Guardian awakens. The deeper Dane ventured into the temple, the more the water seemed to respond to his presence. Currents swirled around him in patterns that defied physics, and the golden light pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. He should have been terrified, but instead, he felt drawn forward by an irresistible force. In the temple's central chamber, he found her. A woman floated in a sphere of crystalline water, her long hair drifting around her like liquid starlight. Her skin had a faint luminescence, and when her eyes opened, they blazed with golden fire. She was beautiful in a way that seemed almost too perfect for reality, as if she had been crafted by the same hands that built this incredible temple. But she was not alone. A massive shape uncoiled from the shadows behind her, a dragon of impossible size, its scales shimmering with the same golden light that filled the temple. Its eyes, ancient and intelligent, fixed upon Dane with an intensity that made him feel like an insect being examined under a microscope. The woman's lips moved, though no sound came through the water. Instead, her voice resonated directly in his mind, "You should not have come here, surface dweller. This place has slept for 10,000 years." Dane's breathing apparatus felt suddenly inadequate as panic tried to take hold. But the golden light seemed to calm him, and he found his voice. "I'm an explorer. I didn't know anyone was here. I can leave." "Leave?" The dragon's mental voice was like thunder. "You have awakened what was meant to remain hidden. The seals are broken, the ancient powers stir. There is no going back." The woman raised her hand, and the sphere of water around her began to dissolve. As it did, Dane felt something fundamental change in the ocean around them. The water that had felt thick and strange now felt alive, aware, and somehow welcoming. The temple's golden light flowed into him, filling him with knowledge he couldn't yet understand. "Who are you?" he managed to ask. She smiled, and in that smile was the weight of millennia. "I am the last of my kind, guardian of knowledge that your galaxy has forgotten. And you, little explorer, have just become part of something far greater than yourself." The dragon moved closer, its massive head tilting as it studied Dane. "The abyss has chosen you, human. The question is, will you accept what it offers?" As the golden light grew brighter around them, Dane realized that his simple treasure hunt had become something else entirely, a journey into powers and responsibilities he couldn't yet comprehend. Ancient secrets revealed. The golden light enveloped Dane completely, and suddenly he could see everything, not just with his eyes, but with a deeper understanding that transcended normal perception. The temple around him revealed its true nature, not just a building, but a living repository of knowledge from a civilization that had thrived when the galaxy was young. The woman moved through the water with impossible grace, her golden eyes reflecting the weight of eons. "My people called themselves the architects," she said, her voice now audible in the transformed water. "We shaped worlds, guided civilizations, maintained the balance between order and chaos." Images flowed around them, visions of a galaxy filled with wonders beyond imagination. Cities that floated between stars, creatures of pure energy that danced through nebulae, technologies that could reshape reality itself. And at the center of it all, the architects, working to maintain harmony across the cosmos. What happened to them? Dane asked, though part of him already knew the answer would be tragic. The dragon's voice rumbled through the water. "War. Always war. The younger races grew jealous of our knowledge, fearful of our power. They banded together, convinced that we sought to control them rather than guide them. The visions shifted, showing the galaxy torn apart by conflict. Worlds burning, stars being extinguished, entire species wiping each other out in their hatred and fear. The architects tried to stop it, but their intervention only fueled more paranoia and violence. So we withdrew," the woman continued. "Those of us who survived scattered to the far corners of the galaxy, hiding our knowledge away until a time when the universe might be ready for it again." She looked directly at Dane. "That time is now." The golden light flowing through the water began to change him. Dane could feel it altering his cells, expanding his consciousness, connecting him to the vast network of knowledge stored within the temple. He was becoming something more than human, not losing his humanity, but transcending its limitations. "Why me?" he whispered. "Because you came seeking treasure and found something far more valuable," she replied. "Because you looked into the depths without fear. Because the abyss itself has chosen you to carry our legacy forward." The dragon moved closer, its ancient eyes filled with something that might have been approval. "The galaxy has forgotten how to dream of better things. It needs someone to remind it what is possible when knowledge serves wisdom rather than power." As the transformation completed, Dane felt the weight of responsibility settling upon him like a mantle. He was no longer just an explorer, he was a guardian of secrets that could reshape the future of every living being in the galaxy. The Ascension. The time had come to leave the depths behind. Dane felt the knowledge of the architects flowing through him like a second bloodstream, each pulse bringing new understanding of technologies and wisdom that had been lost for millennia. The woman, who had finally chosen to call herself Lyra for this new age, swam beside him as they ascended through the temple's chambers. "The surface world will not understand what you have become," she warned, her golden eyes reflecting concern. "They will fear you, try to use you, attempt to take what you carry." Dane nodded, feeling the weight of truth in her words. The golden glow beneath his skin was subtle but unmistakable to those who knew what to look for. He was no longer entirely human, though he retained everything that had made him who he was. He was something new, a bridge between the ancient wisdom of the architects and the younger races who now dominated the galaxy. The dragon had chosen to remain with the temple, its massive form too large for the journey ahead. But its presence would always be with them, a connection to the sacred knowledge they now carried. Remember, it had told them before their departure, power without wisdom destroys, but wisdom without power cannot protect what matters most. As they broke through the ocean's surface and approached Dane's ship, they saw that they were not alone. Several vessels hung in orbit around the planet, some bearing the insignia of the Galactic Council, others belonging to various corporate interests. Word of the anomaly had spread quickly through the communication networks. They detected the energy signature when the temple awakened, Lyra observed, her expression unreadable. "The galaxy is already taking notice." Dane's ship felt strangely small after the vastness of the temple, but it was equipped with everything they would need for the journey ahead. As they settled into the cockpit, Lyra gazed out at the stars with eyes that had seen the rise and fall of countless civilizations. "Where do we go now?" Dane asked, though he suspected he already knew the answer. "Everywhere," she replied. "The knowledge we carry is meant to be shared, but carefully, wisely. We must find those who are ready to learn, to grow, to become something better than what they are now." The dragon's voice echoed in their minds one final time. The cycle begins anew. What was lost shall be found. What was broken shall be healed. Go now, and remember, you are no longer alone in the darkness. As their ship powered up and prepared for the jump to hyperspace, Dane realized that his life as a simple treasure hunter was over. He had found something far more valuable than any material wealth. He had found purpose. And with Lyra beside him and the dragon's wisdom guiding them, he was ready to help the galaxy remember what it meant to reach for the stars with hope rather than fear. A new dawn. 5 years had passed since Dane emerged from the alien ocean as something more than human. The galaxy had indeed taken notice, some with wonder, others with fear, and many with the age-old desire to possess what they could not understand. He and Lyra had traveled from world to world, sharing the architect's wisdom with those ready to receive it. They had helped barren planets bloom with life, taught struggling civilizations how to harness clean energy, and shown warring factions that cooperation could achieve what conquest never could. But their work had also made them enemies among those who profited from ignorance and conflict. Standing on the observation deck of their ship as it orbited a newly thriving world, Dane watched children play in gardens that had been wastelands just months before. The golden light beneath his skin pulsed gently, responding to the joy and hope radiating from the planet below. "Do you ever regret it?" Lyra asked, joining him at the viewport. Her own transformation had continued over the years, her connection to the ancient knowledge deepening with each world they touched. Dane considered the question. He had lost his old life, his simple existence as a treasure hunter seeking profit in the depths of alien worlds. But he had gained something infinitely more valuable, the chance to make a real difference in the galaxy. "Never," he said finally. "Though I sometimes wonder what that dragon is thinking, all alone in the temple." Lyra smiled. "He's not alone anymore. Can't you feel it?" Dane focused, extending his consciousness through the network of knowledge that connected them across the vast distances of space. And there it was, a familiar presence, ancient and wise, but no longer solitary. Others had found their way to the temple, drawn by the same forces that had led Dane to dive into those alien waters. "The cycle continues," he murmured, understanding flooding through him. "As it must," Lyra agreed. "We were never meant to carry this burden alone. The galaxy is vast, and there are others out there, explorers, dreamers, those who look into the unknown and see possibility rather than threat." A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. Dane activated the communication panel, and a familiar voice filled the cabin, the dragon's mental presence, stronger than ever. "My friends," the ancient guardian's voice resonated with contentment, "the temple stirs with new life. 3 more have come, a young scientist seeking answers, a philosopher questioning the nature of existence, and a child whose dreams touch the stars. The architect's legacy grows stronger." Dane felt tears he didn't know he'd been holding back slip down his cheeks. When he had first descended into those alien waters, he had been alone, driven by simple greed and the thrill of discovery. Now he was part of something greater, a network of guardians spreading hope and wisdom throughout the galaxy. "And what of the future?" Lyra asked the dragon. "The future," came the reply, "is as bright as we choose to make it. The old fears are fading, replaced by wonder and possibility. The architect's greatest dream, a galaxy united not by force but by shared knowledge and understanding, it may yet come to pass." As the transmission ended, Dane looked out at the stars with new eyes. Somewhere out there, other guardians were awakening, other worlds were being touched by the ancient wisdom that had transformed him. The treasure he had sought in the depths of an alien ocean had turned out to be the key to transforming an entire galaxy. The golden light pulsed beneath his skin, and in its rhythm, he heard the heartbeat of hope itself. The abyss had given up its secrets, and from those depths, a new dawn was rising across the stars. The end.